What's up guys, GGFOREX here, welcome back to my channel, and I have got two potential decent trades. Price hasn't really done a lot lately, it's basically been going sideways. I'll show you in a sec, but the DXY is inconclusive. It's showing signs of it wants to go up, but not in the position it currently is now. There is potential for the DXY to go lower. We also have high impact news on CAD and USD later on this afternoon. It's 11:45. That news will be coming out at 1:30, so New York Open. So then we might get a better idea what's going on. But yeah, nothing has really been exciting. The setups take time, and that's just the way trading is. You kind of just have to just grin and bear it. You're not going to make trades every day, especially if you're like me and you trade on like the 4-hour time frame plus. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you GJ, GN, and see what could possibly happen, because GN has a potential for me for a 1 to 36. I know you're not going to believe that, but let me just show you what I mean. Right guys, so I'm in GJ at the moment. I am expecting price to go possibly a little bit higher up towards this purple line area, the 4-hour open. Reason being is because if I go to the 15-minute time frame, you can see all the imbalance. You can see, I'll just highlight it for you, all the imbalance that needs to be filled in this area, right? And obviously if I drag it across, you can see it's half done that now, but it is nicely selling off. It is showing me signs that price wants to sell off. It's just liquidated the equal highs in this key area. It's in a discounted area anyway. And on top of that, if I go to the daily time frame, you'll be able to see I've already been in this trade before. This is obviously where I passed stage 1 of FTMO, and price has come back to the same area, but better this time than it was last time. And the reasons being, if you have a look at the daily time frame, I sold here, which you can see these two previous trades. There's a 1 to 16 and a 1 to 6.5, right? Obviously I didn't need to get all that, but that was what the move what happened. I only needed 10%, and that's what I got. But it created equal highs, and then on this move, it's just liquidated them, showing me also bearish divergence on the daily time frame. So this setup is a lot better than my previous setup, and obviously my previous setup was successful. It's shown a nice flag back from a nice impulsive area where it has just liquidated the lows, and it has broken the structure and made more targets and shown me trend line targets as well. So altogether, a great trade, a great setup. However, it still can go wrong. That's just trading. You can get all the best confirmations in the world. Only takes one guy out there with a load of capital just to mess up your trade, and then that is it. You can't fight against that. That's just the way it is. But so far, GJ, I'm in, looking great. It's going to take a couple days, maybe 2 weeks for this to play out, and it's roughly for a 1 to 10 or 1 to 9.5. But I'm only doing 0.5% risk, so it'll be like 4.5% gain. So that's a good trade. GN is also looking good. If I go to the daily time frame again on this, you'll be able to see GN has a long way to go down if it decides to go down from here, right? And for the last 3 months, GN has just been bullish, and there's a reason for that. Let me just zoom out so you can see. So GN has finally come back into this previous area of distribution, right, up into this area here, right? This is where price came up to, distributed, broke all the lows, and then price has just started to flag its way back up, liquidating all of these highs, this high, created equal highs, liquidated it again, right? And then if I bring out my fibs, you'll be able to see the discounted area. So from this high down to the low, it's a bit slow. You can see in my kill zone is price is trading now in a very premium area, sorry, premium area, not discount, premium area. And on that level, if I zoom in a little bit closer, you'll be able to see the massive divergence and distribution kind of taking place. Let me just delete my drawings. But you can see this is where it just liquidated those highs. It's distributing. You can see price went up on here to there. Then if you have a look at the RSI, where price is up, you can see price is just selling off massively on the RSI. So we're getting huge divergence happening on a daily time frame in a key area, and we have really nice high time frame targets on the daily, which is these beautiful equal lows. Probably better targets than on GJ as well. So let me zoom into the 4-hour time frame, and you can see where I'm possibly thinking of getting in. So 4-hour time frame, the confirmation happened for me was when this distribution came down, broke the trend line liquidity, made equal targets, and then price flagged back up, came to again another premium area within a premium area. I know it can get confusing, but just bear with me. And let me just zoom in. It created equal highs, liquidated them. Let me just drop down again to a lower time frame so you can see. So you can see the equal highs it created up here. As soon as London Open happened on Monday, boom, took out Friday's highs, took out the previous week's high, or week's open, then started to distribute and then push down. We had this huge impulse to the downside. I am going in on this 3-hour impulse up here. Price can just run away from me and then I'll just wait for another re-entry, but it's got close. It came within like 20 pips and then sort of sold off. So it's showing me that there's a lot of sell pressure happening, which is fine. That's what I want to see. It's made more targets on the high time frames on the daily, on the 4-hour, and then obviously we've got more targets down here as well, so that's good. So I just need to sit on my hands and wait to see what happens. There's obviously a lot of sell pressures in this area, which is good because that's what I was predicting. It's had a distribution, it's created targets on the lower and higher time frames. So now I just need to sit on my hands and wait to see if it just actually triggers me in or not. We have still a little bit of imbalance up here. So I won't be surprised if price still comes down. Then I'll just wait for it to retrace again. So that could be maybe end of this week, start of next week, possibly for me to get into this trade if it gives me the opportunity, because it can just run away from where it is at the moment. So that's what I'm looking at on GJ, that's what I'm looking at on GN. I'll get more information this afternoon when the news comes out. If you have a look at the news release this afternoon, obviously we've had CPI data on the pound, which is obviously in favor, so hence why the price went up, which remember from my last video, I'll leave a link above where you can see bank manipulation. It was good news for the dollar, price pushed up and then smashed to the downside. That's basically what I'm predicting again for the pound. Obviously good news for the pound, people think it's a good buy, price goes up, and all it is a liquidation to the downside. So that's what I'm expecting later on. And obviously this afternoon at 1:30 New York Open, we got CPI data on CAD and USD, and then FOMC this afternoon, well 7 PM this evening. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with the dollar, because at the moment the DXY is kind of like in limbo. This is an area where I think price could push away from. It's showing that it might, but I'm not ignoring the fact that it clearly has equal lows below, so price could come down, liquidate them, then we could see a potential accumulation happening before a big push up. But yeah, so the dollar at the moment is kind of like undefined or unidentified of where it kind of wants to change. I still think it's going to push lower, to be honest, just to get a better discounted price, and then we could probably see some good sells happening on EU, GU, AU when price gets down here in the DXY, then we get a better idea what's going on. But yeah, so that's it guys, I'll update you at 1:30. Okay guys, right, so it is 2:45. Well, yeah, 20 to 3. This is GN, right? So GN was about 9 pips away from my entry. As you can see, it isn't that far away. I still have this on just in case, but I saw a new setup happening that I like to do as well. So it was, yeah, 9.3 pips away. So that trade didn't work out, but it's still on the cards until this swing gets broken, right? Until this swing here gets broken. I was seeing this as a possible entry, hence where the markup. That entry has been triggered. So obviously that one is now irrelevant. So if this swing gets broken, as you see, it's consolidated in price, broke the highs, and waiting for it to break the lows. When it breaks the lows, then I'll be going in for an entry. So whatever's left behind here, so basically what I'm looking for here is what was made here. I'm waiting for impulse zones, I'm waiting for imbalance, I'm waiting for liquidation's already happened. This is just basically order flow. So it's liquidate the highs, and I'm waiting for it to liquidate the lows. As you can see, the liquidity down here. and then I'll be waiting for a flag back up, a retracement to get back in. So far that looks like it's playing out. It is a shame that that trade is already triggered, because it was a 1 to 77, which is outrageous. Obviously it's going to take time to play out. It's like 1600 pips, but that's just what I'm saying, right? It's a 1 to 77. Technically, I wouldn't hold it for that much. I don't need to. Remember, I only need to get 5% plus. I'm 5% down at the moment, so okay, overall I need a 1 to 20 at 0.5% risk. So obviously this is a 1 to 77, there's plenty of movement to go. Right, so as I'm looking at GN, I've got an alarm under here, so when this swing low gets broken, then for me, that is a confirmed pattern that I like to trade. I'll then take it. If not, this trade still stays on, and it's still like a 1 to 36, so again, plenty for me. GJ has made some nice moves to the downside. We're going to go to the 4-hour time frame, I'll show you what I mean. So GJ had a nice sell-off. It looks like it's retracing right now to mitigate the orders that force price to the downside. It's still bullish at the moment. So for me, I will not move my stop loss to break even until it breaks that swing low. My computer's been really slow. So until this swing low here gets broken, let me just... So until this swing low here gets broken, I will not be moving my stop loss to break even, because technically, if you have a look, you've got high. Oh, let's just try that again. Because technically, you have a look, you've got high, high, low, high, high, low, high, high, low. So we could be seeing another high. So technically, what I'm waiting for now is a break of a swing low. Something like this. That's what I'm waiting for now. That could be in play. I don't know. I'll keep you guys up to date at London close. Probably by then we'll get better information about this trade. But so far, GJ is going great. So far, the setup on GN is going great. Have a look on a high time frame. To me, the selling off. This is a 4-hour time frame with GN. So to me, the sells look like they're coming in. It makes sense for all the reasons that I said earlier, but I just need to wait for that swing low to get broken. That swing low gets broken, then I'm going in for a entry on that lower time frame in that higher time frame point of interest. But yes, right now I need to go food shopping. Right, so we have some movement on GN finally. It's sort of consolidated for ages. It's basically in this yellow box. It's basically been consolidating for about 2 days, because it is now 5:45 in the evening. So basically what I'm looking for now is either got to break this low, or I'm still going to have the original entry, which is that 3-hour at the top. Let me just go to it so I can show you. Or I'm still going to have this entry at the top. I might have both just to play it safe, but as you can see, price is really moving to the downside. It's making some moves. It's finally getting some movement in this. So obviously tomorrow is Thursday, I believe. I forgot what day it is. What day is it tomorrow? Yeah, so tomorrow's Thursday. We've got some USD news tomorrow, so nothing mental. It's not red folder, but it can cause some issues in price movement. We've got FOMC still happening, and we have a G20 meeting, which, as we all know, G20 stuff kicks off. It usually makes waves in the market. So yes, so this is looking good for tomorrow. If it breaks this swing low, then it gives me extra confirmation that yes, okay, GN is finally pushing down after been waiting for like 6.5 weeks. So this is good. I'll probably get in on the 1-hour time frame. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for price. If it comes down here, then wait for something like this, and then something like that to happen. Anyway, that's what I want to see, and hopefully by Monday, so not Monday, but London Open tomorrow morning, we kind of have that break overnight, and then we get the retracement during Asian, and then hopefully by Monday morning to New York Open, we get a trigger in on that trade. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. In GN, GJ is still playing out fine. It is retraced a little bit, but there really isn't much buying pressure at all. What could possibly happen is it could liquidate these highs over Asian and then push down, but for me, the momentum is kind of to the downside. It's really struggling to kind of get higher. The moves coming down are a lot faster, the moves going up are a lot more slow. So to me, the momentum to the downside is definitely there. Can it go higher from where it is? Yes, of course. But so far it's in profit, it's looking okay. But I'm not going to be moving my stop loss, as I said, until it breaks this swing low to play it safe, really. But yeah, so GJ is looking good, GN's looking good, and USD pairs, so the DXY, looks like it's continuing to come down, so we'll see what happens with that. There is some slight divergence, but not enough for me to think that price is reversing yet. So really, that is all that has been happening lately. So guys, I hope you've been enjoying the content so far. I'll update you tomorrow on what's been going on. Hopefully we get that trigger on GN, and then we can really start making some moves in this challenge. It's been such a slow process. I feel like what I've learned the most from these challenges is you get great setups, but then it might take you a month to find another great setups. Like GJ, I got in that and it took me 13 days to play out the trades to get me, I think it was like 11% gain, right? So I was like 4% down, then I got in that trade 2 ways, and it kind of, yeah. So basically 11% is what I needed to pass the challenge. I got that, and it roughly took 13 days. But then price has really slowed down quite a lot, and it's taken roughly 2 to 3 weeks for price to retrace back to a level where I could possibly sell it again. And I feel like that's the hardest thing to deal with, is you just want to get back in and ride that train. But you have to understand that market moves and flows, it takes time, it's got to set up, you got to wait for certain patterns to happen, it's got to make logical sense, and all these stars need to align. And when you wait for those stars to align, then that is where the time comes in. That's where you need to be patient, because obviously patience is the hardest thing about trading. It's where the value is, or the wealth goes. The patience pays. So people who don't have patience pay people who do have patience. And I feel like that's the hardest thing that I am struggling with, is waiting for the right moves, especially if you're in a challenging environment. As I said, the stress isn't really there for me, because I've got 2 months to get 5%, so I'm not really stressed about that at all. But obviously if you're in a 30-day challenge, then the stress can be there. So hopefully you learn a lot from my experiences and how it can help you. Let me know in the comment box below how you've been getting on with that, and certain things that you are struggling with, because I would love to help you out. Anyway guys, hit the link down below, join the GGFOREX family, where I've put loads of setups, entries and all that stuff on there. So I'll see you there guys. Like, share, subscribe in a bit.